I wanted to make this video to give a short and hopefully useful answer to a question that I get asked all the time as a nutritionist. And that is, should people spend the extra money to buy organic food? So the short answer in this case is, if money is no object to you and your monthly or weekly shopping bill is really just a rounding error in your total expenses, then I would say yes, go ahead and buy all organic produce. It is likely to yield you some health benefit and also in many cases some taste benefit. And of course, the only cost will be cost, the amount of money, extra money you're spending. So if money is no object, I would say yes, go ahead and buy all organic produce. Why not? However, for those of us for whom, money is some object and you want to keep your expenses down in terms of your weekly shop, I would offer the following advice. So first and foremost, the EWG, or the Environmental Working Group, releases every single year two lists called the Clean 15 and Dirty Dozen. And these are lists that are updated every year. You'll notice when you go back a few years that they do remain relatively consistent. But the Clean 15 gives you the top 15 vegetables that you really don't need to bother spending the extra money because they should be relatively safe to just buy conventional, non-organic produce. Whereas the Dirty Dozen is the changing list of the top 12 fruits and vegetables that you might want to consider investing that extra money in to buy organic due to various reasons, mainly farming practices, the use of certain chemicals, and so forth. So to start, if you wanted to have some sort of guidance, I would turn to those lists and check as they are constantly updated each year. Now, it's by no means a perfect solution, but it is a useful guide that I do often recommend to clients, and it seems to be relatively easy to follow. The second piece of advice I would offer relates to animal products, particularly red meat, and that would be any animal product that you're purchasing where the fat content is particularly high, or the fat content is what you're looking for in that product, something like butter or something like a ribeye steak or something like that, I would recommend opting, if you can afford it, for an organic option. There is some evidence that particularly with red meat, the fatty acid profile is more favorable for optimal human health in grass-fed and organic produce rather than in conventionally raised and conventionally reared produce. And that's something to consider if optimal health is important to you. And also, and this is just personal preference, I do notice a significant taste difference. Now, of course, this is just in the eye of the beholder. I have clients who say they prefer the taste of grain-fed beef, for example. But certainly in terms of optimal health, it does seem that the fatty acid profile of organic animal products does tend to favor human health, particularly in the long run. So it might be worth spending that extra bit of money in that case. It's important to remember that the organic label is exactly that, a label. It's a legally defined term, that the definition of which changes from region to region. And of course, that definition, like any legal term, can change and evolve over time. And it certainly doesn't guarantee you health. And as some reports have found, it doesn't even necessarily guarantee higher levels of safety. So I would recommend following the pieces of advice I've offered today. If money's no object, why not go ahead and buy organic? If money is an object, for most of us it is, consider those lists, the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen, and consider investing a bit more money when you're purchasing high fat content dairy products, but I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. And in fact, the purchasing of organic food, although it's very trendy and very much in the public consciousness at the moment, it wouldn't be in my top 10 list of the best pieces of advice to follow in order to improve your overall health. So for what it's worth, that's my opinion on it. I hope you found that valuable, and stay tuned for more videos on more topics. Bye.